Hello guys, my name is Advocate Shashida Mishra and today I am going to talk about check bounce case. What is check bounce or dishonor of check under section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881? When a person draws a check on an account maintained by him to another person for discharging his debt or liability, but the said check is returned from the bank unpaid. What are the essentials of section 138? First one is check drawn by a person on an account maintained by him. Second one is discharging of a debt or liability, but this debt or liability must be legally enforceable. Third one is returning of the check by the bank unpaid. And what are the reasons of returning the checks by the bank unpaid? And these are: first, insufficient fund; second, exceed the amount arranged to be paid from the account by an agreement made with that bank. Notwithstanding given the reasons of returning the checks under section 138, the judgments of the Supreme Court also added few more grounds, and these are: stop payment instruction, account closed by the drawer, and signatures do not match or image is not found. The Supreme Court of India also said in MSR Leathers versus S. Palaniappan case that a dishonor of check, whether based on a second or any successive presentation of a check for encashment, would be a dishonor of check under section 138 of the NI Act. What are the punishments for committing the offences under section 138? Now the person who has committed the offences under section 138 shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 2 years, or with fine which may extend to twice the check amount, or with both. When shall the court take cognizance of offences under section 138? The court shall take cognizance under section 142 only upon a written complaint made by the payer holder in due course of the check, and such complaint is made within 1 month of the date on which the cause of action arises under section 138. When shall the cause of action arise under section 138? The cause of action arises, first, when the check has been presented to the bank within 3 months from its date, or within the period of its validity, whichever is earlier. Second, when the payer holder in due course makes a demand of check amount after returning it from the bank by giving a written notice to the drawer within 30 days of the receipt of returning memo from the bank. Third, the drawer fails to make the payment of check amount to the payer holder in due course within 15 days of the receipt of the said notice. When the offence committed under section 138 is a company, is called the offence committed by the company under section 141 of the NI Act. When the drawer gives the check to the holder, is in the nature referred to under section 138, it is presumed under section 139 that the check is given for the discharge of debt or liability, and once the check is issued for the discharge of the debt or liability, it shall not be a defense under section 140 that the drawer had no reason to believe that check may be dishonored on presentment for the reasons stated in section 138. It clearly means that mens rea is not required, but only action is sufficient. After taking cognizance by the court shall adopt the summary trial procedure, which is given under section 143. Notwithstanding anything contained in the CRPC, the mode of service of summons to the accused or witnesses is given under section 144. Thereafter, under section 145(1), the evidence of the complainant may be given by him on affidavit. And under section 145(2), on the application of the complainant of the accused or the complainant, the court may and shall summon and examine any person given evidence on affidavit as to the facts contained therein. And the offences under section 138 are compoundable. At last, after the amendment in 2018, two new sections, that is section 143A and section 148, are inserted in NI Act. Under section 143A, the court has power to order the accused to pay the interim compensation not exceeding 20% of the check amount to the complainant, and this section is prospective in nature, which has also been decided by the Supreme Court in the case of G.J. Raja versus Tejraj Surana in July 2019. And under section 148, the appellate court has power to order the appellant, when the appeal is filed by the accused against the conviction under section 138, to deposit such sum which shall be minimum 20% of the fine or compensation awarded by the trial court, and this amount shall be in addition to any entering compensation under section 143A by the appellant. And this section is retrospective in nature, which has also been decided by the Supreme Court in the case of Surinder Singh Deswal and others versus Virender Gandhi and another in January 2020. That's all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.